2 years ago, here on this channel, we took our first look at Regiments. At the time, an upcoming, very promising looking wargame slash world in conflict type strategy game, and I was quite impressed. A Cold War game that had elements of both world in conflict with how you'd capture points and use off-map support, and also playing a bit like, well, Wargame Red Dragon, Warno, and many of the other, like Steel Division types games that were out before it. Well, hello again there, friends and fans. Raptor here, and Regiments is now coming to Steam very, very soon. This is just a preview version that is pretty much 99% of what the game will have with all the upcoming operations. I've kind of already tested out a few of them and played this game many times before. In fact, incompatible saves for the many other times that I've played it, and I love this game. I think it's really great how the battles progress and how missions take place over the period of days. Now, the game, of course, has a skirmish mode and some great tutorials where you can play as many different nations, NATO and the Warsaw Pact, and for NATO, mostly the United States, but then also some West German and also some Belgian forces too, with probably more on the way, French, British, and other NATO allies that could be included in the game either by its launch or later down the road. For example, Wargame also got the Netherlands and also South Africa later after its release, so that was kind of cool to see later on in their life cycle. But of course, for the Warsaw Pact, the Soviets and Eastern Germans primarily for all of the campaigns that seem to take place. Well, for the operations for this game, we'll start ourselves a new save. There's an introduction for the game as well that reminds me of the old school Call of Duty loading screens. Some information about what's going on the Eastern Pact forces sides and the NATO forces sides. Taking place here, it seems to be in the summer of 1989 is when it takes place. So anyway, there's quite a few campaigns for this, and also a skirmish mode with hopefully some multiplayer coming soon. There's also a wonderful little like an armory, things that explain to you all the operations and what everything is in the game, and then of course all the units and how they function with 3D models available for us to see everything on what the difference between a T-55 and a T-55A are, or for example what the difference between a Belgian Leopard is versus a West German Leopard, for example, you know, that kind of thing. Cool. All right. Well, if you want to subscribe to the channel, that would be awesome. I'd love to cover more of this game too. Today we're going to take our first look at some of the operations then, and we'll go into, I guess, Operation 1, Dissonance, and we'll go on to Reaction all the way down to Black Horse Mad Dash, which I would assume takes place maybe further and further in the timeline. A lot of good story here. Pause at any time if you'd like to read that stuff. We'll probably play on medium as the game is not out yet. I don't know if there's going to be any last-minute balances, but it does look like you can put the game into a much more difficult mode with lots of sliders, too, for interesting handicaps, too, if you'd like to make the scenario more challenging or more realistic or whatever based on what you might feel would be more realistic or challenging for you. So high lethality, you know, bad luck, that type of thing, random events will affect you in the game as well. So we'll go ahead and just jump into, June of 89, looks like 3 to 4th, and looks like we're taking control of the 16th Panzer Regiment. Is that on the Pack side? Let's see. Oh, the goal of our march west is finally clear. Okay, so we're invading Western Germany. Great, wonderful. All right, well, let's go ahead and do that then. So it looks like rogue elements of the 4MSD have carved out a nest around Eisenach and are gathering forces. Empowered by the state of emergency, the 7th Panzer Division is tasked to root out the rebels. Oh, okay, so we're actually taking control of an Eastern German Panzer Regiment. Interesting. Now, the cool thing about this game, too, is that if you play the other campaigns later on, and if you play the skirmishes, you get to kind of choose a few extra units to get in addition to the units you already get. So for example, this is being, of course, a tank regiment. We get T-72s and BTRs and such, but we can also bring along things like mechanized infantry and or an armored task force getting access to T-55As, or in this case, I believe this is an HQ vehicle. Yeah, there it is. Ooh, that looks cool. I've never seen that before. So anyway, our goal then is to continuously fight along this campaign. So each of these operations are kind of a multi-part campaign where, like, the course of a battle taking place over the course of minutes represents hours, which would then represent days in an overall operation, which you know, then would eventually become a campaign. So pretty damn cool. We can unlock a lot of different things based on our performance in the battle operational authority. So we can either give our units higher XP, which then would give us Like, for example, if we chose the Mechanized Task Force here, yeah, then we'll get, for example, more BTRs or better troops or more effective vehicles, that type of thing, once we get up to level 3. So, pretty cool. All right, well, let's jump in to our first battle in the official release, TM soon, of Regiments. All right, we're just finishing up the deployment screen here. We're going to go with this Stern group, which is a, of course, well, we're a Panzer regiment, so we're going to go with additional tanks, the T-55As. But for 50 additional authority, we should be able to upgrade these to T-55AMs. So this screen is essentially where all the points that we'll gain throughout the missions, all the extra performance that we do, and how far we go above and beyond the call is the authority points that will retain to each different phase, and then be able to call out additional troops or whatnot, or different bonuses such as deployment points, which will allow us to call out more vehicles and units throughout the battle, tactical points for that off-map artillery, or like, for example, a cruise missile or some sort of recon, and additional supplies, which of course will be perfect for things like helicopters and artillery that's going to chew through that and hopefully dish it out accurately onto the enemy. We're going to upgrade our Stern group here, the Panzer Regiment, 16 additional group, to T-55AMs, and I think, yeah, looks like level 2 gives us T-55AMs, and level 3 gives us more of that. So we're going to upgrade first before we get the additional numbers, and we'll go ahead and go to events. Well, in this case, it's good. We have a recon focus here, so this will give us additional line of sight throughout the battle. We can actually get like a spy plane or something up in order to take a look at the area and give us real-time feedback, which will be perfect because I believe this mission here is to try to rush to other East German forces that are trying to be, I think we're trying to prevent a coup, essentially, in East Germany. So we're going to try to link things up. Again, I'm rushing through this because, of course, I'm very excited to play myself, so I didn't really take too much to reading the story, but I think this game would do well with some good cutscenes, just like with Wargame, showing relevant news footage of the time, but coming up with some sort of course, fictional Cold War gone hot scenario. All right, well, we should be ready to go, so let's go with our recon focus and to battle. All right, so here we are. Battles raging all around us. Of course, fog of war of the areas outside the battlefield, but quite a familiar sight to what you may have seen before in games like Steel Division, Wargame Red Dragon, and of course, the new and upcoming Warno. But Regiments does things differently and often feels a lot more similar to World in Conflict for me, but on a much larger scale. I'm also curious to see games like Broken Arrow and whatnot coming out very soon too. In this case, we're going to push east to this village here, and our objective is to try to capture as many of these points here where we'll gain operational authority from kicking the enemy out. Essentially what I think is happening here is there's a East German coup, and some forces that were once loyal to East Germany and thus the Soviet Union / Warsaw Pact are going to need to be eliminated for trying to break away. At least that's my take on it. We're going to go ahead and push east to these 3 positions here, then eventually link up with the friendly East German forces here on either side of Lauterbach West and East. These are the 2 positions we need to hold. But additionally, the more objectives we take here, such as facilities and hills and farms and whatnot, will be strategic points that need to be recaptured in order to give us additional operational authority, which will help us later in the mission. So we have our main objective, which is pretty much to punch through and connect with the East Germans and defend, but also a real objective of trying to win the war by capturing as many strategic positions as possible. On the left side here, we actually have ourselves the area recon that we had from before, so we can kind of use a spy plane or whatnot to peek over each one of these objectives to provide at least line of sight to what might be there. Might be beneficial for us to call in a heavy artillery strike first, because obviously the enemy's going to be dug in, no doubt, with things like, and again, these are East Germans, so we'll see things like BTRs and BMPs and whatnot. So we could probably hit them with heavy artillery, then use the area recon to be able to see what may remain. The greatest weapon at our disposal right now is probably the Mi-24Ps. They'll be able to strike the enemy from a very long distance and should be able to cause pretty good damage with their missiles and whatnot. So they're guided missiles. Looks like they're under the ground, but all that wheat there has grown up over the canopy of the helicopters. Another great thing to consider here too is the game actually has a really interesting way of dealing with infantry, and it kind of reminds me of how it did work in, or how it could work in World in Conflict. So when we have any sort of vehicle here, in this case the BTRs, or if we had BMPs or Bradleys or whatever, whoever we were controlling, the infantry would dismount from the vehicle in most cases when they're not traveling fast, and will actually go around the vehicle and move at speed and kind of defend the vehicle and fight with the vehicle in some sort of a combined arms fighting force with that mechanized or motorized vehicle. And if they sit still long enough, they'll dig in like these ones have with the foxholes around each of the vehicles, and also the vehicle being entrenched. So this is a great way to plop down BTRs and whatnot inside or just outside of a village and set ambush points. I'm sure the enemy's done the same, and it'll be a lot tougher actually to dislodge them. Although there are only 2 units, being entrenched like that is pretty hard for us to take out. So we'll have to try to do that with the Mi-24Ps and or artillery, which we don't really have any of right now, or at least don't plan on deploying any. We do have the mortar here. But additionally, we will get supply too for our helicopters and whatnot. All right, well, we're a mechanized, or rather a panzer regiment, so we better be mechanized with tanks. Let's go ahead and call out T-72s now. We got several of these, and we'll also call out the T-55AMs. Now, it's interesting. I've driven the T-55AM before, so I'm familiar with this tank, and I'm familiar with these tanks as being a part of the new Russian space program, or at least the top turret is. It's actually interesting to see some of these with them still on. So anyway, let's go ahead and get our forces ready to go with the additional maybe BTR-70 Rifleman AT. These guys will be in charge of defending our supply that's going to have to come along for the tanks. So we'll kind of have them work together. Everything's kind of a mix mash here, so we'll sort it out as we go. Let's begin. All right, Mi-24Ps are going to be the first on the front line. We're going to have them scout ahead for the tanks. We're going to get the T-55s ahead and the T-72s ahead of the supply that's going to come through. We'll have the BTRs and the supply trucks roll across as well. There go the BTRs. There go the supply trucks. Excellent. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at this town. I'm assuming the enemy's in there, but let's get aerial recon first around the city. Now, if we attack on the other side of this forest, the enemy's going to hit us. Oh, hold on. All right, we can actually active pause here and use this as a tactical tool here to see where the enemy might be. It looks like they're indicating that there's enemies here, but not where precisely they are. I'm assuming they might be in these dark areas dug in the road. Or maybe, oh yeah, those have got to be dark foxholes from the animations I showed you earlier, or at least what it looks like. Well, let's go ahead and hit them with artillery here. They're going to be dug in, so definitely want to soften them up. Let's hit 15 seconds heavy artillery. All right. Mi-24Ps already firing off their ATGMs, anti-tank guided missiles, firing off at the, what more could be in there is probably troop transports and infantry, but probably no tanks. Oh, and here comes the heavy artillery. We'll have the T-55s watch the eastern flank. Let's get the BTRs up here. Helicopters can eventually go back to this point too for resupply rather than going to the supply truck. So the helicopters can make the trip faster. We'll have them fly back and forth. Oh, looks like we're taking hits already from what could be something here in the woods. Ah, BTRs. Enemy infantry dug in along the road for an ambush. Didn't expect us to take the farm fields, did they? Enemy has been suppressed. They're going to be destroyed shortly. Mi-24Ps firing a lot of guided missiles, but better than taking damage and losses. Good work, boys. Excellent work. All right, let's link up with the troop transports. And let's go ahead and secure that right flank. Tanks did a good job. Artillery is expensive, but recon is free here. No, actually, our artillery is free too. But we do have access to smoke, so that's going to be a great thing to block enemy firing in our... Oh, yep, there we go. Let's just hit the hell out of them with artillery. They've got some pretty good accurate fire here from their ATGMs. They're getting pretty close. Here comes the artillery, though. Oh, looks like enemy artillery is firing. All right, looks like there's some enemy artillery pieces here firing on the roadway. They're firing inaccurately in front of us. Enemy is heavily suppressed there. Tanks are doing a good job. Helicopters are resupplied. Let's have the BTRs go into the woods. And they're firing smoke rounds now. I'm waiting for our heavy artillery to rearm. But the enemy may have displaced its artillery now. Artillery may be on the move to somewhere else. Well, let's get the supply into the woods. Obviously, there's going to probably be ATGMs up here or in this tree line or just next to this facility, so we'll have to kind of wait a little bit. We do have 16 minutes to complete our objective, but we also want to minimize our losses for our forces next time. It will cost us our authority points in order to replenish those losses, so we definitely don't want to go too far too fast. But we definitely want to push the line as quickly as we can. So you're always in a constant battle of push as quickly as you can without taking losses. Enemy has gotten closer with their artillery pieces. Let's hit him again. Friendly artillery inbound. We're gonna get him. Nice, excellent work, boys. All right, we're close to capturing that area. We're now about halfway done. Looks like artillery pieces have moved backwards now. Oh, but there's mortars firing here. And it looks like we've landed some direct... Oh, yes, we have. Direct hits, baby. Hell yeah. Directly onto those pieces. Enemy taking losses. Excellent work, boys. Hard to be a cameraman and a commander at the same time, but that's the job, damn it. All right, looks like we're actually taking some heavy tank fire here. Enemy could have AA in there as well, so let's go ahead and take a look at what they've got. Pull back a little bit because we don't know.
Zone captured.
Not entirely sure what that is. Anti-tank guided missiles from the helicopters. Landing hits. Or at least landing close. Alright, we'll keep our heavy artillery ready for counter-artillery on enemy positions. From what I can recall, artillery in this game is very effective. Not only in its accuracy, but also, of course, in its ability to quickly suppress and destroy. Very quickly. It looks like enemy mortars are firing again. Mortars, let's hold on. Let's only hit the heavy artillery. Looks like they're just firing smoke. They've actually kind of done us a favor here. Let's pull back with the BTRs. Choppers move up. They let us get a little bit closer with that smoke. Watching for the enemy artillery as well. Alright, I was hoping the BTRs could get a little faster. Close the gap, but... Oh, there we are. Enemy artillery firing off. Alright, pull back. Oh, we're actually taking anti-aircraft fire now. Oh, whoever's there is holding out pretty well inside that little warehouse. Excellent. Artillery pieces landing on top of enemy artillery. Or artillery strikes from our artillery pieces off map are hitting enemy artillery as well. Looks like the enemy's called up T-72s. Inside the village, they're trying to recap. Damn, they're hitting hard. Let's recon the area again. We need to see. Alright, pull back. Let's get our riflemen up there. They should have anti-tank weapons with them. Mi-24P's ready to go again. Come on, let's push it, damn it. We need to get through here. I push back. Let's get some repairs. Riflemen, yes, they do have AT.
Zone lost.
No. We've got it. Radio intercept reports 1 to 3 enemy platoons are counterattacking. Mortars should be coming in again, or at least light artillery. Nice, very good. Continue pulling back. Now with that counterattack, the enemy may have left our artillery open.
Zone captured.
They're retreating. Alright, we'll stay locked into that town. Alright, main ammo's at 51%. We can push it. Alright, area recon again, please. It's going to be some sort of anti-aircraft gun. It's wildly suppressed, not going to do anything against our helicopters. With that level of suppression. Come on, bro, you can do it. Alright, Mi-24 is out of ammo. RTB, you too. There we go. Alright, we've pounded that position finally into submission. Look at that, just like 1 or 2 tanks were there, and it really slowed us down for a while. Alright, time to push forward now. Very good. That's very, very good. Alright, we're going to capture this position. We'll wait for the supplies to come up too. T-72s are under attack. More than likely mortars again. We need to quickly capture and keep moving. Relatively quiet up on the hill. Alright, we're capturing Charlie. And we'll continue to capture while we bring up our supply. Mi-24Ps are at 100% from main ammo. Alright, BTR is looking good. Alright. BRDMs can help to keep line of sight on the second
Zone
position.
captured.
Well, let's call up the riflemen. We'll have the riflemen come up here so that way they can hold this small facility. And as you can see, AT troopers have dug in. Alright, so we've at least got some sort of AT inside that position there. Let's go ahead and recon the next area. And get ready with the choppers. Wow. A few enemies here. Let's definitely hit them with the heavy artillery and push in. Alright, tanks are on the way. I think we can actually hear rain now. I don't think any sort of weather effects affect us negatively in the battle, but there are nighttime battles, and you can use flares and such in the game. Oh boy. Alright, Mi-24s are being fired at. Anti-aircraft must be on that left side. Light artillery again. I really wish we had more forces to push up there, but I don't really want to risk that AT group on the left side, aside from defending. Alright. More enemy motorized vehicles. Look at how much firepower it takes just to destroy. Now, eventually, our units will gain more and more XP, so they'll become more accurate, more deadly, especially that chopper. Indeed you are. Alright, we'll get the infantry regiment to park here. Mi-24s go back again for supply. Now, I believe our supply trucks can also return to the rear in order to resupply too. Well, let's make sure we've cleared this area. Enemy forces are being stopped by BMP-1s. We've lost a couple vehicles, but the enemy is mostly being stopped. BTR 152s, not great. Essentially like half tracks, mostly from the East Germans. All right, let's push in. Clear them out. We're going to kick down the front door. And they're retreating and have been overrun. All right, on to the last push. We can now push through to the East German positions. And we can also take that hill with the artillery that was being so annoying. And we'll wait 30 seconds for air recon on that. This is going to do a lot of great initial damage on the East Germans. Things that they'd lose, they might not be able to use in future battles too. Just the same with us. If we were to lose a full regiment, it's going to take a lot of acquisition points or authority to replenish that. Tanks did a good job. Get up there, supply. Let's go that way. Great tactical things in this game too. If we hold shift, we can see like line of sight, and you can of course also queue up orders and use tactical pause. I believe there's also more tools for line of sight as well. I forget what the hotkeys are, but there should be more ways to do that, to be able to see
Zone capture.
more information on what and where the enemy is and what and where they can see. All right, heavy artillery. Looks like it's warranted to call out another strike there. Now let's get those supply trucks in there. All right, we're probably going to take the high ground here and prepare for another, I guess, enemy attack. Oh, and speaking of which, hold on, the BTR is now under attack from an enemy counterattack. That's that 1 to 3 platoon that we heard of. Stay dug in, boys. I'll have the T-55s take this hill. And we'll keep our supply here since we know it's rather safe. All right. The BTRs are holding line of sight for our BMPs, or rather our Mi-24Ps. Oh, and a T-72 being destroyed there. Actually, I think these might be T-55s, aren't they? Well, it was. Sure as hell was. Shilkos, uh-oh. Gotta pull back. Shilkos are anti-aircraft guns, and those are bad. Very bad. For us, at the moment.
5 minutes remain.
All right, we have 5 minutes to kind of clean up and eliminate enemy artillery and positions. Go ahead and take a look at what the enemy might have here. And get ready to soften up. All right, whatever's there has got to go. I think we're going to stay dug in here. So a rescue mission for our first mission. Not so bad. Oh, nice. Friendly artillery dropping on those enemies. Stay dug in the town, boys. Ah, yes. Just looking like European escalation here. Beautiful. Such a good impact on the RTS community. We've got to be thankful to see more RTS games, boys. We don't get enough of them. We got Men of War 2 coming. We've got Call to Arms, Gates of Hell, and of course the Talavsota or whatever, the Winter Warfare DLC for that. We've of course got Company of Heroes 3 coming. And say what you want about whatever game. I mean, we need more RTSs. We need more options, especially when it comes to being stuck between either we mostly seem to get Cold War or World War II. So it is always nice to see like more modern games as well, like Broken Arrow coming about, which of course will have a lot of Soviet-era equipment and weaponry, and seems to mostly be based in the Cold War, at least in terms of how some things look. But of course, it's more a modern game as well, with its timeline. It is a modern game. Alright, enemies approaching on the right side again. Let's take more high ground. Anakin's going to be pissed. Enemy tanks are pushing. Alright, let's have our helicopters come and assist again. Shilkas are pushing in. Let's hit them with artillery. Danger close. Hit that Shilko.
Zone captured.
Oh, nice. Alright, if those forces have friends on the way, they're going to be toast. Beautiful. Mi-24Ps being incredibly effective. We're going to go ahead and bug out with these units. Enemy may capture here, but our helicopters should be able to stop them. Luckily, I believe that unit was able to retreat. Nice, we got him. Okay, good work. Alright, pull back with the chopper, recapture with the infantry, devastate with the tanks. T-72's attacking BTRs. Alright, we hold the southern section. Let's go ahead and get our T-55s to hit these guys here. There we go. And then we'll get the T-72s to take the high ground there. Now, I believe after the first battle, wherever we leave our troops or wherever we've captured will be a jump-off point for the next battle, so we definitely want to push in.
Zone captured.
If we can, and capture. Alright, where's our Mi-24Ps?
1 minute remaining.
Alright, 50 seconds left. Let's go ahead and capture. Let's see if we can actually capture these positions. We'll leave the Grove alone. The troops that retreated before, the AT troops, yeah, they're still alive. And we'll be able to call them out again. Their group can be activated and brought back into battle shortly. And let's get the Mi-24Ps here too. Trying to do some last minute positioning. The enemy will at least lose the farm. And not bad, we hold most of the high ground here. Enemy artillery eliminated. And the enemy's mostly been cut off from their positions in the rear. Over here. Ah, very nice. So we can see now objectives controlled, enemy kills, and our positions, and what we have destroyed. Very good. Nice after action report. Now that's just a piece of the battle. So now we get to go on to a, well, part 2 basically. And we can take all the crazy operational authority that we just got and call out additional units. So we could do a mechanized task force now, which will give us infantry and BTRs and such. So we're definitely going to call one of those out. We need that to hold some of the positions that we've captured. And we can also do engineering support, so we can get additional engineers to build defenses and such. But at this point, we're not going to do that. We did take a few losses with our BTRs there, so we're going to replace those. We're back down to 80. We can save here essentially for additional upgrades in the future, or we can already upgrade this group to have more skilled units or higher numbers, whatever we had before. So let's see. I think what we'll go with is upgrading this Oh, to assault engineers. That's what we can upgrade to. This is a great way, by the way. The assault engineer is very good at cutting through, and this is very important. Assault engineer groups are very good in this game at getting through defenses, such as, like, for example, landmines and, like, heavily fortified areas where the enemy can build, like, barbed wires and such. So they can actually clear that. All units can clear that, but the engineers can do it the fastest. So this might be good for future advances or whatnot to get to their devastating or devastated positions, like to cut through. Let's go for extended operations this time. That might have actually been good for the first time too, but now with extra time we can take our time in capturing more enemy positions, so that's good. All right, so let's load in. Look at all this stuff.
Objective received.
Loading T matrix and stuff. Wow. Okay, so we're back. Now it's great. It's a different time of day. The weather is different. You can actually see the battle around us raging too. Looks like massive tornadoes of fire. It's so cool. All right, so now we've got our positions that we've captured before with our vehicles in mostly the same position here. The T-72s will capture. I think we can actually deploy some stuff up there as well. I think we can deploy it in that position. No more recon for us, but the artillery still does remain. Go ahead and call out the helicopters over here. We're going to try to get those T-72s up to the top of that hill as well to defend. So our goal now is to continue to hold and, of course, eradicate the looks to be 2 enemy positions in front of us and then 1 far in the rear up there, and then possibly these positions. This is where the enemy will be entering, but I'm not sure if we can do anything about that position. All right, we're just going to go right ahead, jump into battle since we've got all of our stuff pretty much deployed. We may call out assault engineers, but I would much rather do the AT again to the same position. Ooh, whoa. Nice weather effects, man. Can we actually see rain when we zoom in? Well, we can hear it for sure, and we definitely know it's raining, so not only do we have thunder and lightning, but of course the thunder and lightning of our forces around us too. Let's get those tanks into a defensive position. Let's get the helicopters somewhere near the town. Alright, let's take the riflemen up here. Oh, it looks like friendly forces have also entrenched in areas that we've captured, so that's good. Alright, let's get the T-72s to come in over here. And we have no more recon. So our recon now is going to have to come down to bringing vehicles nearby. So we'll see how that goes. We'll keep our supply somewhat nearby. Radio intercept reports enemy attack of 1 to 3 platoons. Great. We definitely want to capture this facility here. This area, what looks to be like a little warehouse district or whatnot, will be perfect for us. We're obviously going to be attacked from behind at the farm, but we do need to consolidate our forces for attacking. No enemies spotted so far. We'll have the infantry come in. Tanks are being shot at. Oh, there we go. We can get them from behind there. They've dug in and we're on the side of them. Fantastic. More platoons. This is the big enemy attack. Ooh, good thing we didn't advance. The enemy was anticipating that incorrectly. Look at this fire, man. Oh boy, yep, there comes that counterattack. Alright, we're between a rock and a hard place there. We may lose the farm, but we will gain the facility and then can have friendly forces behind us, so clearing this out is important. We need to do it now. They may destroy that unit there, but we're going to have to make that sacrifice. We're very limited in our forces, and the enemy just continues to advance, and they've got more reinforcements coming.
Zone lost.
ATGMs kind of suck. At least from this angle. Well, they did destroy one vehicle, perhaps. And it is suppressing them. Speaking of, Let's suppress the enemy heavy tanks. Let's get a little closer. Alright, can we resupply over here? No, I don't think so. So back there for resupply. And we need to get our resupply trucks up for the for the tanks, not the helicopters. And we'll hold this hill. Alright, we need to take the facility right now. Tanks need to retreat. Alright, that force needs to retreat. Alright, we'll be able to repair those tanks and use them. Alright, Mi-24P's got a long way to go. D-72s were able to retreat. Excellent. Look at all this enemy force. This is ridiculous. There's no way we're going to be able to defend against all that. The hell? Our forces should have retreated.
Captured.
Those T-72s look like they retreated. So retreating in this game means that your forces will essentially kind of fade out and eventually like kind of leave the area. Alright, we're going to use smoke. We only deploy one at a time? Alright, it's time to get the hell out of there. It's not worth it, there's too many forces.
Zone lost.
Wow. That is so much betrayal coming towards us right now. That's ridiculous. Alright, let's get the T-72s out again. At least this group will be replenished with ammunition. And they've got veterancy. Look at that. Alright. They're ready to go. And same with the Mi-24P. Veterancy and ready to go. Keep pulling back. We need to defend this line. Alright, well, they're going to have to retake the facility. That's buying us time. That's the perfect artillery target for us, if anything's in there. Oh my god, 5 to 7? You gotta be insane. Oh my god, well, yeah, whoa, what the hell? What? Whoa, wait a minute. There's no way. Get out of there. Mi-24 will replenish you too. Well, luckily we got the requisition points for that. Okay.
Zone lost.
Alright, well, this is interesting. Everything has changed. They've gotten so many reinforcements. These 72s are going to have to lie in wait here. Alright, BTR-70s bug out. We're calling in all the artillery. I would call out mortars and such now too, but the enemy's moving so quickly. Alright, artillery falling on that area. Units are retreating successfully.
Zone lost.
I love this too because it's not just about capture and hold and capture and hold. Sometimes you have to give territory in order to let the enemy fall into an attack or a defense to then kind of act as if it is a feign retreat, which is really fantastic. It really is accurate that way. Alright, more enemies there. My god. I should have held out for the extra 5 minutes. That actually looks like it's going to be a bad thing for us. However, it does give us more time to damage the enemy if we happen to get them in a good position for falling into an attack. Let's hit the city again. All right, we're holding. Wow, T-55s at least have some veterancy now. And T-55 AMs are eliminating, yes, all the tanks coming to that town. An excellent tank to choose for the defense there. All right, let's call out the choppers again. All right, they had some anti-aircraft with them. We're going to keep them over here, just as a defense there. The BRMs usually have better line of sight, so we're using that in conjunction with the T-72s to pick targets and then to also defend the choppers from any sort of long-range trouble. Alright. Hold at a distance. Oh, they're bugging out too. Okay. Alright, now would be a good time for some of that infantry. Unfortunately, we've mostly paid the price here. Luckily, our supply is ticking back up too, so we will be able to come back over and resupply them. Alright. T-72s are looking veteran-y. Nice. 2 out of 3 vehicles, though. I need all the veterancy I can get. All right. Wow, I'm going to need a whole nother damn platoon. I'm going to need to increase deployment points next time and not just replenish losses. We need more guns. I pull those tanks back. All right, pull back. You got it. We need to hold this eastern position. We need to get the infantry in there. T-55's got to pull out. Too much damage. All right, T-72's hitting in the flanks. All right, pull back. We're gonna dig in with our friends there. They're coming in. We need to pull supply back. T-55 successfully retreated. Damn, this is kicking off. 3 to 5 platoons again? I can't believe these numbers. The numbers, what do they mean? Oh, we gotta keep retreating here. Lure them into where we'll have air defenses. Helicopters on the way. All right, well, more troops are on the way. We need to keep this corridor open for reinforcements. Insanity. All right, well, we've defeated their first push into the eastern section. All right.
Zone
Oh.
captured.
All right. Incoming shells from these enemy tanks and BTR 70s, which could be ATGMs. Enemy artillery. Let's stop that. All right. Let's reinforce. All right. Choppers have arrived. Well, it was damn good that we took the facility. Pretty sure we got something out of that. So we went from the grove and the farm, swung down to the facility, came back to the town. So we cleared out everything we could. At least we lessened their attack as best we could. All right, we now have 100 and something deployment points here. Call out the T-55 AMs again. So this is why we have this highway open, to protect them. So let's go ahead and see if we can have them. I'm using the fast move command here to see if they'll actually take the highways. And that's kind of what we fought to protect, to keep that corridor open as best we could. Alright, good question. Can friendly BTRs be resupplied too? We got riflemen and BTRs dug in there. I would love for our AI friend here to also be resupplied so they can help us to dig in longer. Well, now this extra time does allow us to gain veterancy since we're in a good defensive position. Alright, nothing going on so far. This also does allow us to flood in reinforcements to the eastern area too. Now the T-55s don't seem to be taking the road.
5 minutes remaining.
They are on attack move. Attack fast. Or fast move. Oh, okay. Well, if this is the fastest way, then alright. Alright, let's get the supplies to this side of the town. Oh, wow. Back up, back up, back up. Alright, artillery's incoming. Wow, look at the scars in the land. Where the hell are the T-55s? Oh, they're going to be too late. Alright, give them some ground, give them some ground. Alright, BTR 70s are dug in, and BMP 1Ps, these have ATGMs on them. And perhaps the troops with the BTRs might also have ATGMs with them too. The enemy has really tried hard to push. We've taken a lot of damage there. Buying time for the T-55s to arrive. I'm hoping the enemy doesn't push over here on this side. We need to focus on that eastern side. Tanks are on the way. They'll probably arrive at the last second. Enemy's pushing towards the east side now. And then with artillery again. That's interesting. The eastern side is being captured even though we have troops there. Let's get in there. Oh, that's an AA unit. Yeah, you're fine. Pull back.
New objective received. Zone lost.
Alright, we need to recapture. An incredible amount of units attacking that position. Alright, Mi-24Ps were told to retreat. Alright, we're gonna have to recapture.
New objective received.
It's gonna be bad for them. Alright, let's move behind the road. We're gonna hit them with artillery. We have 1 minute and 15 seconds left. If we can neutralize the enemy's hold on that position, we should be able to retake that.
One minute remaining.
Alright, we need to go now. Alright, luckily we've suffered some casualties, but not any sort of major knockouts of any of our major groups that have veterancy. That can all be mostly replenished here, including the Mi-24s. A little too late to call them in now. And strange that the enemy was able to capture that zone before destroying these units here. I think you need to completely neutralize an area before you can capture it, not necessarily overpower the enemy with your own forces numerically. Well, let's put supplies back here.
New objective received.
Excellent. All right. Well, this should be mostly captured. I believe will fall to our hands then at the end of this battle, phase 2. I cannot believe the amount of forces that they had called out on us. That's insanity. My God, man. Let's get out of here. Operation State saved. Good job, everybody. All right, well, apparently we're going on to phase 3 now, and that's going to be a little different story this time. Now we have 239 points, so at this point we can replenish a much more brutal battle that time with the Mi-24s taking brunt to the damage, and of course dishing it out too. We could take a look at that at the strategic analysis afterwards. But hey, that's our first look at the first missions and kind of introduction / tutorial for Regiments. Fantastic game here, going into phase 3 now. Very good stuff. So I've enjoyed it thoroughly. Loved playing the skirmishes against the AI with a ton of different maps that are available. Different game modes for those maps, different maps available with, I think, some of the maps that you might face in the actual campaign itself. So if you like some of these and would like to replay them in the skirmish or master them before playing the campaign, you'll know all the small nooks and crannies. Pretty cool. Playing as NATO and Warsaw Pact in 1989. Regiments, damn fun game. Well, thanks again, everybody, for watching. Leave a like on the way out. Subscribe. Thank you very much for helping people to get the word out there for RTSs like this. Hope to see you all next time. Have a good one. Goodbye, everyone.